Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Evening Mastermind. My name is Biffy Ipple. Very excited to be with you all. I know a lot of people on here have been on calls nonstop, left and right, but we just keep the energy going. And I'm like the Energizer Bunny, and so I got my tea to just keep kicking it off, even on this evening for some of you, evening for me. And I always promise that I'll make sure to bring that energy, bring it going forward. And another thing that I said that I would dedicate to people, I think a few days ago, I don't even know what day it is, you guys, but one of the things I dedicated is that I'm going to make sure to believe in your dreams until you're able to believe in them. So whatever you share and whatever you tell me, I have the sphere enough to be able to hold on to it and grab it and believe in it myself too. So that's one thing I want to let you know. But before we get this call started, the point of it is to be a Q&A about wealth, business, and mindset, so that can help you guys on your journey that you're on right now. But the reason why I did it was I actually was having a call with somebody today who I used to be working with and connected with, and we were talking about how she was feeling isolated because in her business, she felt like the only people that she could talk to was me and then another girl in it. And we were just discussing about how it's very important to have a community of like-minded people. And again, a community of people who are able to hold on and carry your dreams, because you're going to go in those moments where as you're expanding and growing, you're going to need to find people who will be able to hold that space for you too. So if you're in the crabs in a bucket kind of environment where you're trying to get out and people are pulling you down, it's time to find a new bucket, and you're in that place for sure. So welcome. Happy to have you here. Another reason why I wanted to do these calls on top of the community is, again, for the mindset aspect. So a lot of people think that success is around strategy, and you'll go and meet people that say, well, how did you do this? And, you know, they pick up a pen and paper and they'll say, how did you do this? Tell me what steps you did. Tell me this and that. Well, that's 5% of the game, you guys. 5% of the game. 95% of the game is your mindset. Because I'm telling you, I used to think, oh, no, people don't know what they're talking about with this. They do. They really do. So finding a place to get your mindset in order and to keep growing so that you can keep furthering along on your journey. So that's a place that I want to have for people, is to just keep having that expand and grow as well. I was just very, very grateful today. I was reflecting on some things with this journey and where I'm at, because a lot of you guys know that prior to me even hosting these calls, I was very, very shy, very, very timid. It was very hard for me to even speak. And, you know, here I am today. And there's a lot of moments where you'll think about, I would really like to be this person, and I really would love to be this, and I really would love to be that. And a lot of times I kept thinking about it, or I kept writing it out, or I kept hoping for it. And I come to find out that that growth does come from imagining, but it also comes from imagining and applying. And so when the time came for me to start these calls, it couldn't have been better. Like, that was the ultimate growth, was to just go in and do it. And I tell you guys, I get so much from these calls too. You know, they add value to me also, as much as I hope that it adds value to everybody else. So with that said, again, you guys can put questions, whether it be in the chat or whether you can unmute your lines. But this is a Q&A about business, wealth, and mindset. We'll get it started. I know that the first question is always the one that people are intimidated to start, but go for it. You know, just go for it. My gratitude alarm just went off. Jason was telling me, Jason's on this call, that he sets a little goal gratitude alarm, and I started doing that. So thank you, Jason, for teaching me how to lead in that way, and thank you for my goals being met.
Never trust the memory. You
No,
have to
not
remind yourself. You do. Yeah. Well, Biffy, I got a question. I think that this will help a lot of people and what maybe not tomorrow, but maybe Tuesday if we can do another call for the ones that couldn't make this one because of the link. So we can do Tuesday and Wednesday of this week if that works for your calendar. But my question is, Biffy, how important is action when it comes to acting before you can think? You get what I'm saying? How important is that? Because most people, they like I said on the call today, when they get presented with an opportunity, they say yes when the heat is on, but when the energy that they said yes in is no longer there, the old paradigm or habits kick in. So how important is it to say yes before you're ready?
It is extremely important because a lot of I was in the crowd of people who are into the law of attraction, let's sit on the couch and let's feel the energy and this source energy. Oh, it's so beautiful. I just saw everything that I imagined going on and happening. Oh, there's my dream home. Those are great things. We do need to plug into that. There's a connection to that. But law of attraction, shun has that end with action. There's also doing that part. And there's so much of that going on, Jason, that you just spoke about that I think the universe gets sick of it. So it's really helpful for us to show the universe that we are very serious about what we say, because I think that's what the universe hears all the time is, yeah, like you just show me this. Thank you for giving me a clear vision. I'm going to go and do this. And then the next day you're just sitting down and watching TV and just plugged into Netflix. Maybe not Netflix, because now the inflation's high on Netflix. So maybe you went down to something else, but you go back into those patterns and those habits. And it's important to take the actions, especially the ones where people jump. You guys know Bob Proctor, amazing guy. And he has a partner named Sandy Gallagher. And she was speaking about how one time she was speaking with him and she said, I think I'm going to do this thing, but I'm really, really scared to do it. And Bob said to her, jump. That's all he said to her was jump. And she did. And she definitely doesn't regret that decision. But we have to go through that, because what happens is when we're pumped and energized, we just got off a call. Yeah, like I'm so ready to do that. I'm so ready to do that. And then energy goes up and down. Maybe you go to bed and then you wake up and, like for me, my kids might just start being crabby and crying and screaming all over the place, spilling, their milk all over the place. And then that could impact the energy. So then you come and give me a call and you say, hey, Biffy, you ready to get started? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I need to think about it. I don't know. Because I had that experience, right? Energy goes up and down, but that is especially the most important time to make a decision is when that energy is down. So if you can make a decision with the energy up, if you can make a decision with the energy down, you can definitely make a decision with the energy up. You can definitely follow through. And what happens is too, those things are going to be thrown at you. Of course, they're going to be thrown at you, especially when there's a big decision that's going to change your life. How many of you guys, you can put this in the chat, were, presented with somebody might have said, I got an opportunity for you. Put me in the chat, or I have. I'll tell you guys, I have lots and lots of different opportunities, lots and lots. And guess what I did? Wow, that's so amazing. And then they came back to me and I said, oh, let me think about it. Oh, well, I don't know. Well, I don't think this is the right time. When is going to be the right time? So here's the thing that I don't even know. With all this mindset work, you start to see the bigger picture and you start to see the bigger vision. And one of the things that I feel like I've seen, Jason, is how valuable time is. How, in fact, it's way more valuable than money. When I got into this, I was like, oh, Bob Proctor's work, give me all the money, make me rich, make me figure this out. But how's that going to make me live the life that I want to? What kind of actions can I take now so that I can get back my time, so that my money's working for me so that I can be spending time with my family, so that I can be doing all this stuff. And it really made me see that I really don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to be afraid. I don't have enough time to, oh, well, let me think about it, because it's never going to happen. And so that's what happens to everybody. Everybody gets so many opportunities every day. And the problem is people are so unaware of it that they don't see it. They don't see opportunities when it's literally knocking on their door. You know, there's the story of acres of diamonds from the Lead the Field program. And there's so many times it's like that. This guy, he had a farm and he was on the biggest land that had diamonds, but he didn't know what diamonds looked like in their rough state. So he left to go look for them when he had one of the best mines for it. And that's what happens to opportunity, is people see it as the diamond in the rough state because they're not aware to know what that can become. And that's what is really valuable and important. You know, one of the things you told me, Jason, that has stuck with me is I said to you, I said, how do you know when you're following the laws of the universe? You know, what does that look like? And one of the things you told me is you said, look around and do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And when you told me that, I went, wow, okay. So the moments when I've been made fun of, the moments when I've lost friends, the moments when people keep saying, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why this? Why that? I don't understand. Oh, you're in a scheme. Oh, you're in another one of those schemes again, Biffy. I knew I was going in the right direction. I also know that this is the stuff that's going to help me build to become a leader so that I can continue to pass that forward. And I've been seeing more and more of those experiences. People will call me and say, oh, Biffy, I'm going through this. And now I finally can relate, because the universe is giving me what I'm asking for, guys. I'm asking for a huge, big goal, and the universe is delivering. But that's the other thing about what you say, Jason, with the action and everything too, is what people forget and what they have to remember is when you do ask for something, like I was just thinking about this the other day, you guys, when I was little, you know, 3 or 4, I'd pray and I would go down to my bed and pray and I'd say, God, give me $1 million. And I don't know how long I did this for. I probably did it until I was maybe 6 years old. And then all the paradigms started kicking in of, oh, you'll never be a millionaire. So that's when I stopped praying for it. But obviously I had the desire at that age. But what I didn't understand is that I also had to take the action for it. That I also had to show God, I had to show the universe that when I'm asking for this, I'm serious for it. So the universe is always going to do its part for us, you guys. It's never going to let you down. Trust me, it's never going to let you down. And we have to show our part. You know, I heard this too. I find this to be very, very true, but there's signs from like higher power, angels, like whatever you want to call it. And I was having a day where, you know, oh my goodness, I was working on this business. On top of that, I was doing Shipped, which is delivering groceries back and forth. I had 2 of my kids. The card wasn't working for the groceries and my battery was about to die. And I was on call with customer service. So, and then my kids were, they were done. So my kids are screaming at a Target. I'm trying to hold them. I'm trying to keep in place customer service. I'm holding up the line, just all this stuff's going on. On top of that, I have to take these groceries all the way to the west side, which is for where I live, it's about 35-40-minute drive if you add the traffic. So it was, you know, rush hour. I was late for this delivery too. So that's gonna probably dock my pay if the person's not patient with that. Well, I finally get my husband to come pick up the kids. He gives me his phone, trades me his phone because mine is dying, to go call customer service. And then after I get everything settled, finally drive to go take these groceries. And it's still tough, you guys. I go to this apartment complex, 3 stories high, and I have to carry all these groceries back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's when I realized that that action has to be taken. I said, God, I see what you're doing. I understand. And I just want to let you know that I'm very serious and I'm not going to give up. And right after I said that, you guys, this is a sign from the universe. I found money on the ground. And usually that happens for me as a sign. So I found him, I think it was a penny, maybe a dime. I mean, it was that, but I knew. I went, okay, something's telling me you're on the right track. So there's a lot of ways the universe will communicate with you too, and will show you you're on the right track with those actions. So that's what I got to say to that, Jason. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, 1000%. Excuse me. Jeez. Cancun won't leave me. Or allergies won't leave me. But I gotta stop saying that. No, I think Biffy, the reason why I asked that is when I went for everybody on this line. Cecilia, how are you? I saw your message with Amanda, and I will respond. And I think we're speaking after this, right?
I think we are, and hello.
Yeah, nice to
Yes.
meet you.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Amanda was saying some amazing things about you. She didn't tell me all the stuff you guys used to do back in the day, though. But I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
We'll save that for later.
Okay. Yeah, I know how the Texas people get down now. All right now. But Biffy, the reason why I asked that is because I was reading in Think and Grow Rich. Actually, I was just reading Persistence, but the chapter on decision. And I think the biggest thing that will hold most people back is the paralysis of moving, the paralysis of making that jump, making that leap, because we're too attached to familiar, and that's really why I asked that question. So yeah, it helped for sure. And every time I hear that, it helps me as well, because you always have every level. There's they say a new devil. I think they just mean a new habit, So every level there's a new habit, that new paradigm, whatever you want to call it, that's trying to keep you where you are. So decisions are key.
Yeah. You know what you reminded me of too, Jason, is I often hear a lot of times people are struggling or having a hard time, whatever you want to call it. And it's because they forget, whether they're in their goal or not, they stay stagnant and they forget to move. So if you're going for your goal and you stop, then you become stagnant and those habits come back in. Same for somebody who opportunity, they say no. They're going to stay stagnant in that. And what you reminded me of is, you guys, if you ever are, I don't know, Amanda, I think you're a camper, backpacker. Maybe we've talked about that, but anyways, if you guys ever go into nature, they always say to make sure that you drink from a stream that's constantly moving, because if a stream isn't, it stops and it picks up all the bacteria, all the poop from the animals, it builds up algae and things like that. And I want you guys to start thinking about that with your journey, that it's important to keep moving and keep going and keep that flow of the river consistently happening, because you're going to get, if you don't, you're going to get to a place where it gets stagnant and stuck. And then you'll get things in there that will just gunk it up. And a lot of people I see get into that place. And that's why too, you guys, another big thing with all this is repetition is key. So when Bob spoke about that, for example, to say, watch this or listen to this 90 times or 100 times, I was like, there was my first paradigm. I don't have time for that. I laugh at that now, you guys, but I said, I don't have time for that. And guess what I found out? I had time for it because I could make time for it. So I did, started listening to things 100 times. And guess what? Bob was right, because even though I said, oh, okay, I listened to it second time, kind of got the same stuff. Fifth time, same stuff. 10th time, okay, I didn't hear that part. 50th time, whoa, now I understand. So repetition is key. That's what happens too. So people will get into these environments. They'll get in when they're having a tough time in life. Oh yeah, that's so awesome. That's so great. Guess what? Habits pull them back. So stay connected into the environments that are going to help you stay connected to your vision. I think I do this on every single call, and it's just going to be my thing. But if you don't have one, get a gold card. Oh, I see Cecilia. She's looks like, oh, Cecilia's got a gold card. Awesome, awesome. But get a gold card because it is so vital to keep your vision going forward. It's so vital because when you're having the rough days and when you actually really understand what that means to be connected to your vision, nothing can stop you. You don't even care. Like Jason had a caller that he said to people, he said, oh, say these mean things to me, like you suck, or you'll never succeed, you'll never do this. And so we all started saying it, and he just went, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. And you have to get to that point with your goals. You have to get to that point when you're speaking and connecting with people, because people are going to say mean things. They are. And you got to get to a point where you say, well, I'm rich. This is me right here. The now and permanently. It's there, you guys. It's on its way. So live like it's there. That's all I got to say. What questions you guys have?
Go ahead, anybody. Biffy, sometime during this call, we got to really hit on repetition and really nail that down. I think most people don't really understand the importance of it. You talked about listening to something, 100 times. People think it's just that you listen to it 100 times. Even when they do the repetition, they still don't get what they need from it. And I learned why is because in order for the repetition to work, you have to grow into a new person. You know how you said on the 50th time you heard something different? Well, maybe on that 50th time, you actually grew. See what I'm saying? On that 50th time, you've grown to a level of awareness. Because I always wonder, me working with Bob and being around him, it was unique. It was very unique. It was very unique. And I remember we would always grab dinner at the Octagon, which is a restaurant in Toronto that was right around his house. And I remember sitting there thinking, excuse me, there's people that read more than me. There's people that write out their affirmations more than me. There's people that, I never did a program ever. Bob gave us programs. That's why I always tell people pay for something. Bob's giving us programs and we ain't even study them. He's like, here, take the lead. We got the Lead the Field program before it even came out to the company. And always pay. Always pay. When you pay attention. I don't care if it's 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Always pay because you'll value it, And so I never did a program. I was reading a little bit of Earl Nightingale's book, a little bit of Think and Grow Rich, and a little bit of Power of Awareness Today. I only read probably like sentences out of these. Never really read a full book. And I was wondering, like I had these, I don't know, out of body experiences because there was literally a million people trying to get in the position I was in. Very awkward, And I'm gonna share this for the story purposes. There are millions of people trying to be in the position that me and Darren were in when it comes to our relationship with Bob and his wife, Linda. And, it was like, this is just us in the living room at their house. We would just be at the living room hanging out, Emilio, Darren right there. And Bob would just come in. He just got done doing some studio work. I don't know if you guys could see this. I'm gonna show you guys this just as like a, and then, we just be hanging out at the house. And I'm in the living room, I'm knocking on the door. Hey, Linda, let me in. And going there as much as we wanted to. Me and Darren had studio time. This is where Bob was teaching us how to present and how to talk in front of a camera. Darren's in the red suit right there. And he was teaching us how to present, how to talk in front of the cameras and all those different things. And us going to the suit shop. Antonasi's getting some new suits where he gets his suits made. And I'm thinking the whole time, we're in the car. He's talking about this, talking about that. I don't know what he's talking about. But point is this, and I'm only sharing this because all of you follow Bob, I think. And we're going, and he's just talking about, random stuff about so-and-so sold a house for $2.something million. And but anyways, more of the more of the story. I'm getting this access, like this is us eating dinner or lunch, whatever, or doing some numbers. Bob walks in from the studio. We're at the kitchen table just going over some numbers and stuff. And the access is there, like people would literally pay $500,000 for what I was getting. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, how in the, HE double hockey sticks, Cecilia, am I able to be in this position? No one gets that. I don't care if you pay him $250,000. You don't just go to his house. It doesn't happen. And then I start to think, I learned repetition with new action, not just repetition. Because I think I shared this with you, Biffy, that I can't read, like, you see how I got these books right here? I got to stop myself, because if I read something, I apply it. So I'm reading persistence and I'm like, all right, how can I be more persistent? Then I'm reading this on listening. How can I listen more? Then I'm reading this on free will. How can I have better conscious awareness? And I'm just like, I'm trying to apply it all. And I'm like, no, stop, Jake, put the book down, get rid of them. Because I will apply whatever I learn. And that was the secret. Looking back at it, I'm like, wow. I would take, this is what I would do. I took everything my mentor said as true. Everything. Like everything. I took it as true. And then it became true. And I just absorbed myself in that, but it was the repetition with the new action. Cecilia, if I was going to get on a call with somebody, I would look through my notebook, this one right here, and I would look through, I have every bent page at the top is my quotes. This is a page of quotes with 2 stars. Quotes with 2 stars. I got quote pages, quotes, bent page, quotes. And I would get on here and I'll say, never let something get in the way of your education, blah, 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 blah. And I would say that, and I'll say, you know what, I'm going to say this on the next call. And I would do the next call and I'd be like, hey, Cecilia, look, never let something get in the way of your education. Never let learning get in the way of your education. And I would say that quote and I would learn something, then apply it. Then when I went back to listen to the Strangest Secret audio, I would hear something new. Then I would go back, do another call. The lack of having commitment to personal growth is the one biggest mistake people make. And then I would say that, I'm like, I'm going to say this on the next call. Then I would say it. And then boom, I would listen to the same audio, hear something different. So the awareness is repetition isn't even good enough. Because some of you have been reading Think and Grow Rich, like Bob has. You remember when Bob said, he told us, he said, I used to give this book away to people and nothing would happen. He said, I will fire people if they didn't study it. So they had to study it, but nothing would happen. He's like, I'm wondering why in the heck their life isn't changing, but mine is changing like night and day. And he figured it out. It was the repetition and applied action or applied information. Repetition, applied information. So, Biffy, I think we got to touch on, excuse me, repetition and the mental stamina it takes to become successful. You know, it's all about mental stamina, persistence. You know, I was reading this chapter. It says persistence is an essential factor in the producer of transmuting desire into monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of the will. Mental focus, will means focus, mental focus and stamina, the power of your ability to focus on one object for an extended period of time. And I remember I met up with one of my other mentors, Chris Estes. And in my previous business, Chris was the #1 earner. He was probably 50,000 a week, something like that. And we went to his house and we said, Chris, tell us your journey. I got to record it. I got to let y'all listen to that call because that meeting, that was crazy. He was just going crazy. And he said, you want to know my biggest ability? Because he was a baseball coach and he did triathlete. He was a triathlete. So they, you know, the swimming, Cecilia, the biking, and then the running. He said, you want to know the biggest athletic quality that helped me earn millions, 20+ million at the time? I said, what? He said, my ability to withstand high levels of energy for long periods of time or for extended periods of time. So if he sprinted longer. He had that stamina, the mental will to keep going to high, he put it high, high exertions of energy for an extended period of time. Most people have a high burst, then stop. High burst, then stop. High burst, then stop. And they wonder why creation doesn't set place. Well, you got to ask yourself, do you put the cake in for 2 minutes, then take it out, then put it back in for 2 minutes, then take it out? What's going to happen to that cake? It's going to rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall to the point where it will just sink. Now, let's say it takes the cakes 50 minutes in the oven, but you put it in 50 minutes, but you take it out every 2 minutes, but you still do your 50 minutes. But you take it out every 2 minutes. It's not going to be the same process unless that cake has a consistent high level of heat for a short period of time. It will never bake. And that's what I learned about goals. I'm like, wow, people's goals never bake because they don't leave it in the oven. People's businesses never grow because they don't leave it in the oven. They do one call today, none next week. People's businesses never grow because they don't leave it in the oven. And when you leave it in the oven, Biffy, for 30 minutes, what happens is, yes, it's in there for a longer time at once, but it's shorter than starting and stopping. You all should go look at a new car. Go look at a new car. I don't care which one. It could be a Honda, could be a Maybach or a Bentley. And look at the tag. On the tag is going to show you projected miles per gallon per city and projected miles per gallon per highway. Have you ever wondered? I've always wondered, like, why in the heck do you get more miles per gallon on the highway when you're going 10 times faster than you do in the city? Because they'll say 40 miles per gallon on the highway and then 32 miles per gallon in the city. I used to always wonder, why do you get less gas when you're in the city and more gas on the highway when you're going, 100 miles per hour? You would think that you would need more gas to go faster. It's not true. When you're in the city, you're constantly starting and stopping. Hit a red light, hit a roundabout, you got to slow down, stop sign, you stop. And then you got to get that body back into motion. So every time you stop the car, you have to pick that 2,000-pound thing back up and get it back to 30 miles per hour. And more gas, Jeff, listen to this. More gas, more energy, more fuel is used the closer the car is to zero. People call me, say I'm burnt out. No, you're not burnt out. You just keep starting and stopping. More gas is used the closer you are to zero. So if you keep starting and stopping, you're going to run out of gas because it's so tough getting that thing going versus it is to keep it going. And then when you get it up to speed on the highway, you don't have to press down on the full pedal to keep it at 80 miles per hour. You have to tap the pedal because it's picked up speed. That's why you all see people that work very, very hard and they're broke. And then you see people that don't work at all and they earn millions. Because the job mentality is clock in, clock out. Start, stop. And then when people get in business, guess what mentality they bring into business? How much time do I have to put into it? You can't start, stop with your dreams. Otherwise, you would use more gas and you won't get half as close. That's Biffy, the chapter number 7 of the Lead the Field program we're studying. I can't wait till we get on it. It's called Easier to Win. Now I'm really understanding what Bob would always tell us. He would say, son, it's a lot easier to earn $1 million than it is to earn 1,000. And I would look at him like he's crazy. I'm like, Bob, what do you mean? I'm broke. I've been trying to earn $1 million for I don't know how long, right? He say, son, it's a lot easier to earn $1 million than to earn 1,000. It's a lot easier to earn $1 million than to earn 1,000. It's a lot easier to earn $1 million than to earn the effortless way. It's easier to win. It's easier to win. It's easier to win. I had no clue what that meant. But Jeff, it's easier to win because when you get that car up to speed, you let the laws work for you. You go faster and you use less gas. When you start, don't stop. Cecilia, when you start, don't stop. Don't stop. It's easier to start and keep going. Biffy, I think we got the nail repetition. Over and over and over. Biffy, you know what's crazy? I've been building my business and personal growth for 7 years. And most people don't understand why I work the way I work, why you work the way you work. And they see our lives and they say, all you guys do is just work and do calls. But they don't understand. I'm doing all the work now. I'm 25 now. Biffy's 32, 33, right? Something like that, 31.
31, but I'll be 32 eventually, so.
I'm sorry. We'll say 25. This is 25. All right. Anyways, if you forgot your age, how old would you be? Right. So that's all right. But I've been building extensively for 7 years. And people just think I'm crazy. But what they don't understand, the rest of my life is on cruise control. I'm 25. When I turn 27, I'll never have to lift a finger ever again. Millions will just be, seriously, probably will sneeze one day and then look up at my phone. Oh, another million. Okay, another trade. Okay, cool. Another million. Because I put the pedal down. I'm finally understanding what Bob been teaching me for 7 years. Finally clicking. It's easier. I want you all to sink this in your mind, because some people have a problem with saying something's easy. We have a problem with saying earn money's easy. We have a problem with saying becoming wealthy is easy. I remember we did a call with Bob. He said, "Do you want it to be hard?" We said, "No." He said, "Then never say it's hard." I didn't want it to be hard. Cecilia, you becoming where you want to go, I don't know your goals. I'll talk to you about that for sure. But wherever your goals lie, it's easier than you think. It's easier to get than it is not to get. Don't believe me, guys? You have to work hard to be broke. Anybody ever worked 2 jobs? Anybody ever became a multimillionaire with 2 jobs? Anybody ever worked 3 jobs? My mom got a 3rd job, and we were broker with the 3rd job than we were with the 2nd job. God bless her. My mama have anything she want now. But back then, I'm like, "Mama, how we?" I didn't know. Aren't you? I never see you anymore, and we're always worse. God didn't create his children to be slaves. Or the universe, Allah, whatever your, foundation lies. I want you all, I pray that every single one of you understand it's easier to win. I'll do as many calls, Biffy will do as many calls as we have to. I just need one person to let this sink in. It's easier to win.
It is. I'm getting a taste of this today. It just like I turned a corner today. I don't know. I think you maybe saw me, Jason, but yesterday's calls, and leading, I think it was something about yesterday's calls. Everything clicked. And I just started getting my goal like crystal clear in my mind and just pushing out all the doubts. Like I was having so many doubts that were coming up, and I was like, wait, no, this is ridiculous. Why am I even thinking that? And I think it was like the decision piece. I was noticing that I was like, oh, well, maybe I can go on the Europe trip if I have enough money. And then I was like, no, wait a minute. And then I'm reading Hung by the Tongue, and we were talking. Well, I realized I was like, literally, like it is easier. All you have to do is speak it and see it. But the thing you have to stop doing is stop saying and thinking the things that are opposing your vision. So you just have to get everything in line. And then like literally everything is just shifting for me. And now I'm just like in the activity and doing the things, and it's super fun. But yeah, it's just like getting the thoughts that are contrary to what you want. Like just, you have to push them out and get rid of them. That's what I'm noticing. So I'm really starting to believe this. I I didn't ever fully believe. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, I can make $1,000 in a week or in, or I mean, in a day. Like I can actually do that and I can feel it now. So I'm really fired up. Let's keep going.
And you got it. You're going to earn more in a month. Give it 2 years, 3 years. You're going to earn more in a month than some people do with 40 years of working. And give it 3 years because of your NFT investment. Now, put it like this. This is why I say it's easier to win. You invested $2,000 into the NFTs that I told you to get. That was a quick buy, wasn't it? You pressed the button and you bought it. Because you did that little one simple action, that's going to produce more income for you through one little action that took maybe 5 minutes, maybe you 10 minutes to get about 5 minutes, maybe Amanda 10 minutes. That one little action is going to produce more income for you this year. You're going to earn more in your sleep every Thursday than you would have earned working for 2 to 3 years, probably. Jeff, if Jeff does what I tell him, we told Jeff, get your money out your 401k. Give us 50,000, we'll show you what to do with it. It's one little phone call. He made a phone call. I don't know if you made a phone call or text message. Made a phone call. I need this withdrawal. Jeff, when are you getting your income? Is it next week? Next week? Okay. So I'm gonna put it like this. Next week, Jeff, that was a week and a half process for you to make that phone call. Between the time you made it, the time you get your income. A week and a half. Once Jeff gets that income, we're going to show him what to do with it. And do some math. Okay, 630 times 6. And in 6 months, this is where that 35,000 or 50,000 will be for Jeff. Nah, let's take that back. I'll subtract. Sorry, Jeff, if your hope's too high. Maybe this. It took Jeff, that was a week and a half process for Jeff. Jeff's going to earn more income in 6 months. Divided by, if the average person earns 40,000 a year, he'll do more in 6 months than the average person will do in 3 years. And then after that, Jeff, give it another 8 months. Well over this. Same thing I told Biffy about. That's why she called me crying, or I called her and she started crying for a good reason. Same thing I talked to Amanda about today. Bob would tell us, son, it's easier to earn a million than it is to earn 1,000. I had no clue what that meant. Now I do. Stephanie got her NFT, same thing, same deal as Amanda. Same deal as Biffy, Yessie. I talked to Mike today. Mike, I talked to Mike about the same thing we're doing with Jeff. So you're gonna love Mike forever. Ain't going nowhere, right? Robert, geez, Louise, Robert. And you know what it is? It always goes back to money. Did you know money can speed up or slow down your process? I'm trying to think of the quote. Those that aren't willing to invest will have to work. Those that aren't willing to invest will be forced to work. It's the if you read in the Bible in Matthews. Now I'm not getting religious, don't beat me up. All right. Cecilia, don't pull out them gloves. I know you got them Texas gloves on, girl. Come on now, Cecilia. I'm gonna share this story, then I'm gonna shut up for real. There's a story in the Bible where it talks about there's a king. And the king has 3 people that he's working with. Now, back in those days, they called money gifts. So if you, or ohms are gifts. So the Bible talks about money over 2,000 times, but they use different names for it. Ohms, gifts, treasures, but it talks about money more than you can imagine, more than you could fathom. All right. The king had 3 people. Person number 1, he gave 6 gifts to. Person number 2, he gave 3 gifts to. Person number 3, he gave 1 gift to. So like $6, $3, and $1. All right. Person number 1, here's your 6 gifts. Now go out there and be fruitful and multiply and come back to me with your results. Person number 1 goes out, multiplies his 6 to 12. King, I've done what thou want me to do. Here's your 12. He said, congratulations, you will have heaven on earth, and for that you will prosper. Person number 2, he gave him 3 gifts. Don't believe me? Look it up. It's in Matthew. Give him 3 gifts. He said, thou that have 3, go out there, be fruitful and multiply, and come back to me with your results. Person number 2 had 3, came back with 6. He said, King, you wouldn't believe it, man. He'll call me like Jeff. Jason, I turned the 3 into 6. Congratulations. You'll have heaven on earth. Therefore, you will prosper and be fruitful and multiply. Sent that person away. Now, Cecilia, person number 3 had 1 gift. He was given the same rules. Go out, be fruitful and multiply, come back to me with your results. Now, he went out. Now, this is the thing. Person number 3 only had 1 gift. And because he had little, he got scared. And he dug it in the ground. Then by the time it was to come back to go meet the king, he undug it. And he gave that gift. Cecilia, you hear me okay? Is the connection good? Is it me? Okay. Person number 3 had 1 gift. And he was given the same direction by the king. Go out, be fruitful and multiply, Jeff. Come back to me with your results. Me and I just want you to get 2. You got to multiply 2 or 3, just go up. All right. Yeah, this is a parable. Now, person number 3 put his gift in the dirt. And by the time it was to come back to give his results back to the king, he dug up the gift and went back to the king. King, I didn't gain any money. I didn't lose any money. Here's your gift. He came back with the one that the king gave him. And he said, for that, you won't prosper and you'll have hell on earth. And matter of fact, because you did not do what I told you to do and multiply what I've given you, give your 1 to the person that has 12. What does that sound like? A job. Those that have little, Cecilia, that are, even though they have little, but they are afraid to invest into themselves, will give their little up to the person that has more, no matter how much they have. And then you will be forced to work for the one that has the most, no matter how much they have, because even though you had little, you were afraid to invest. It's a job. It's a church. Well, the pastor's rich. The pastor's the only one talking. In front of 500 people every Sunday. The boss is rich. He just feeds off of everybody. The person at the top earns the most money. He's supposed to. Because he started the company. And you were too afraid, even though you had little, to start your own. So therefore, you will give your, not your money, your time to the person that has it all. Those that have little, but are afraid to invest in themselves, will invest into those that weren't afraid to invest in themselves, no matter how much they have. Bob used to tell us, the Bible is the best sales manual you'll ever read. Congratulations, Amanda, for trusting Biffy and trusting myself. You'll never have to work a job ever again. And I put my name on it. Jeff ain't never going to do nothing ever again. He's going boats and bikes. I can't wait till Jeff open up the business. I'm going to get me a motorcycle straight from Jeff. Jeff's going to open up a company called Boats and Bikes. Boats and bikes. Jeff, I need me a good boat, no holes in it, because I know them alligators down in Louisiana now. I need me a good bike now. All right. So, Amanda, even though you had a little, listen to me, Amanda. Even though you had a little, but you weren't afraid to invest it, or you were afraid, but you still did it, congratulations, you will be fruitful and you'll be multiplied. Biffy, you got to stop me from stealing your show. You have to. Like, you can cut me off anytime you want, Biffy. You can just press mute and shut me up. You know, Cecilia's tired of my voice already. And Cecilia doesn't even want to talk to me after this anymore, Biffy, because you let me talk too much.
Nothing like that, sir. I look forward to it.
I like you, Cecilia, already.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I like you too.
There we go. Now we friends. I got another friend. I love this business.
Yeah.
Jason, I was just saying in the chat that was the first time I ever understood that parable. So I'm mind blown right now. Yeah, that was amazing. My goodness. I don't even know where to go, you guys, because I just feel like that was the mic drop right there. But I do have about 10 more minutes left. Now I gotta hop on a call. So what are there any questions in the chat? I don't think so. What questions do you guys have? Feedback, questions?
Cecilia, Jeff, Amanda?
I don't have any questions, but what I will say is I sifted and sorted in the last 8 months of being in the Bob Proctor coaching program, and I had a lot of great opportunities, but they didn't fit because the people didn't fit. And I knew the people once I first heard them. Well, I heard Darren several months ago and went, I want what he's having. And that's the only way I can say it. Excuse me for that. But and through a series of course, the magic events that happen whenever you start taking out the negative trash and letting that crap paradigm go and start building on faith and understanding. Through those events, I made a connection that made that connection. And I even mentioned Darren's name, and Amanda said, well, and so then here we are. And as of this morning, I have a house that is empty of negativity. It's my new workstation now, and I love it because I can do it at any time of the day or night without anybody in the house but the cat and the dog.
There you go.
So I'm ready.
Cecilia, Darren was the guy who introduced me to Bob Proctor.
Wow.
When I met, my brother took me to his house. We lived down the street from each other. I was at his house yesterday when you and Amanda were on the call.
All right.
Because I asked him, I said, hey, do you got a call with Amanda right now? He said, yeah. I went into the office. He did the call with you.
Yes.
He was the one that introduced me to Bob Proctor. And I met him when I was 18.
Wow.
And he was working with Bob at the time. My brother took me to his house. That's how desperate my brother was for me to change.
Yeah. You got a good brother.
My brother's set. He doesn't even know. He's good. But yeah, so we're all in the same circle.
Yeah.
And we'll do, like, I can't promise anything, Cecilia, but I can tell you this. If you do exactly what we tell you until you find out that we're lying and we don't know what we're talking about, and let me mind you, we don't lie and we know exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
You and everybody you touch after you are going to end up becoming big winners.
I totally believe that. And I know that because of the tools that I carry from the work that I've done and the people that have now showed up. You and Amanda and Biffy, I don't know if you realize this, but you friended me and we became friends a while back. And on
you
Facebook.
Are a long lost sister. Where have you been?
I guess so. Yes, I am. Here I am.
I knew we
Here
were related. You just been dangling, and somebody go get Cecilia and grab her, tell her to come over here where she needs to be.
There we go. Well, I put out the feelers. I was like, all right, where are my people? Where are those folks? Because I kind of sifted and sorted, and these were good people that I went through, but man, they weren't, they wasn't, and they isn't. You is.
It's done. You is. You speaking my language. Look, I grew up speaking broken English. It was you is, you isn't, you is not.
There we go.
Look, we gotta talk. Okay. I'm gonna be
We
quiet.
will be.
Cecilia, I'm gonna catch the Holy Ghost. All right. Cecilia talking my language. You is my people. You is. I heard.
Awesome.
Cecilia, I heard Steve Harvey say this because a lady told him. You guys know Steve Harvey?
Yes.
And a lady told him. They said, "Hey, you'll never be successful on mainstream TV until you change the way you speak." And he said, "I ain't changing the way I speak." And she said, "No, you have to." And he said, "Ma'am, let me ask you a question. Which one sounds better? I am broke or I is rich?" He said, "Which one sounds better? I am broke or I is rich?"
Perfect.
I is rich. That's it. I is Jeff. I is rich, man. You is rich. You
I
is
is.
rich, brother.
I is.
Cecilia, you is rich. I love it. All right, I'm
I
done.
is.
I really am done. Biffy, to take the microphone. I'm done. It's done.
I'm muting all you guys. No, this was amazing. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Cecilia, you've obviously been in the right place. So yeah, we've got to grab you. So happy you're on this call. Happy you're on this call. I think I know which profile is yours too. Now that I'm thinking about it. So, but anyways, oh my goodness, you guys, that was good. Was this all good stuff? Help you guys out? Good, good. Good stuff. Good, good. All right, so this is the last thing I'm going to leave you guys off with, because you guys are saying good stuff, thank you, all this great stuff. Good stuff, good, good, good. Okay. Remember, what were we just speaking about with environment, repetition, and when you find something with mindset, what's something you got to do with it? It's the key thing. Go out and apply it. Go out, go into the world. So go out and apply it, you guys, because I don't want what I used to do every single church. Oh my gosh. Pastor was so great. Oh man, spoke to my heart. Oh, convicted me of my sin. Woo, I need to repent of that. Guess what I did the next day? I was doing the same sin, whatever you want to call sin. I was doing the same thing. And then I would go get small group with people. So what did you guys think of the sermon halfway through the week? Oh, I forgot what he talked about. No, go out. You guys have a notebook? I see some of you guys writing things. That's great. Go out or take it out. I'm about to throw this to go take it out. But go out and take it, apply it, and remember, law of attraction has that shun, which is action. So go take the action. You guys go ahead and shoot for the moon. And once you get there and you see all the stars around you, go ahead and shoot for them too. Take care.